Hey guys, it's Carissa Lee, and this is another episode of LEDA, which is short for Live Each Day in April. And it's a challenge by this really cool YouTube channel and business by the nicest people ever, Luria and David. And their channel's called Live Streaming Pros. And so I've signed up for this 30-day challenge where I'll be going live every day in April. I missed a day, so I have to make up for it. I'm a day behind already, but I will try to make up for it soon. But long story short, today I am doing episode 5 of this challenge, and today my assignment is to tell you guys a story from my life where I've learned a lesson. And it didn't take long for me to discover that I had a story that I learned a hard lesson from. So, yeah, for sure. Let me just take a look here real quick and see if everything is okay. I don't know if anyone's here yet, so I'm just gonna check on that real quick. But, yeah. I was kidnapped. Let me just, before I go on with the story, I just want to check something really quick. Okay, cool. Alright, so, basically, I'm just going to move something over here. Hey Tommy, hey Callie, how are you guys doing? You doing good so far? But yeah, okay, so once upon a time, I was 16 years old, and I was working in Claremore, which is a suburb of, well, what am I trying to say? Hi, Tommy. Okay, I lived in Inola growing up, and really it was just a speck on the map, just a very small place in Oklahoma, with hardly any businesses, but like 20 or 30 churches, right? So for me to get a job, I had to, hey Jordan Deos, how you doing? Good to see you. So in order for me to get a job, I had to venture out to our big city of Claremore, which I say Claremore. I meant to quote big city because it's not a very big city. Claremore is not a very big town, I mean, at all. But it's like the Tulsa to Inola. Anyway, so I started working at a job at Goldie's, actually, in Claremore. And it was like my first day. I was supposed to show up on the job and everything. And I never showed up for work because I got kidnapped. So to rewind the story back, I begged my mom for a phone because one of my best friends, had her own phone line at home. She had her own landline. And so I was like, please, Mom, my friend such and such has her own phone line. Why can't I have mine? Like some kind of spoiled brat that I was, you know? Yeah. But I guess Mom decided to get an extra phone line anyway for her own business. And she had my phone line go to my room. And, yeah, so one day I got a phone call from somebody, and what are you doing, Eddie? Yeah, phone lines. Hi, Flying Falcon. I'm gonna pass out for the night, but I'll listen to it tomorrow. You guys have a good night. You too, Flying Falcon. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. But anyway, so my mom did get me a phone line, and like I just thought because my friend had a phone that I needed to get my own phone line too, and that was completely naive and stupid. But at the time, it meant everything to me, right? Yeah, seriously. Hey, Suddenly Frogs, how's it going? Extra phone line for prank calling? No, she wanted a business line because she was a business owner, and so she got that for that. But then, and it was also hooked up to the fax machine. So if there was a fax coming through, or anytime anyone sent a fax, like my phone would ring and I'd pick it up and be like that god awful noise you hear from fax machines. It was crazy. But yeah, frogs. Says suddenly frogs. Okay. So one day I'm in my room and I get a phone call and I pick it up and this person is like, "Hey Christy, how you doing?" I'm like, sorry, you have the wrong number. And I wasn't even thinking that that's my mom's name, duh. But I was like, you have the wrong number, because no one calls my mom for this. Like, it was mainly for the fax machine, now that I think of it. So this person was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, maybe you can help me." And me, being a naive 16-year-old girl, was like, "Oh yeah, what? Huh? What?" Like, he just started talking my ear off, this stranger on the phone. And we talked for like an hour, and about this, that, and the other, I don't even know. Like, he was just charming me, like just trying to get me to trust him, which I fell for it, okay? I completely fell for it. And so he got to where he would start calling me all the time and gaining my trust, trying to figure out more about me. I told him where I worked, and he showed up at my... Actually, you know what? Now that I think of it, I had just started the job. There was something else that came up that was the reason why... There was like a wreck on the way to my first day of my job, and I was late to it because of a train track wreck. That's a different story for another time. But but now that I think of it, I'd been there just like maybe a month or so. I didn't work at Goldie's very long. But I was a waitress at Goldie's, and I had told him where I work because he asked, but I didn't know what he was getting at. And I was just a naive teenager that wanted people to like me. And he seemed really nice, which was the whole thing he was trying to get me to believe. And he showed up at my work, and he would watch me, and I was like, why is this person looking at me? And then later on, he called me and he said, I was the person sitting at this table in the glasses or whatever that was looking at you. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's weird. Why didn't you say anything? He's like, like, I don't know what his deal with. But come to find out, I think that was him stalking me and trying to figure out how to kidnap me. And this is terrible, but like, this is the truth. This is me. Like, I was an idiot. Like, I still am an idiot at times, but like, this is like, wow. Why did I think I could trust a stranger on the phone? Anyway, one day he had to be in glasses. Yeah, they were like, right? Seriously, they were sunglasses. He was wearing sunglasses inside a restaurant. Yeah. Hi, Vlogger Matt. How are you doing? How you doing? Anyway, so you'll have to excuse me. I haven't told this story like ever. Well, I say ever. Of course, Tommy knows the story, but like, I've never actually said, "Hey, here's my kidnapping story, guys. Listen to it. Take it all in. Learn from me." I've never done this before, so it's kind of weird, and it's kind of awkward for me, but I'm gonna tell you the story anyway, because why not? Maybe you have a similar story that you can relate to, or whatever. Yeah, seriously, Callie. Creep, right? How you doing, Vlogger Matt? It's okay that you're late. Hey, Joey, how are you doing? Callie says, Carissa over there talking to some creep for an hour. Yeah, seriously. I was falling for this shenanigans or whatever. I was just happy that someone was paying attention to me, I think. I think that was it. As sad as that sounds. But I was just a teenager. I didn't know any better. I'm like, oh, someone's interested in me. Someone cares. Right? The gang's all here. Yeah, for real, Joey. But anyway, we talked on the phone here and there for like a week or two. And eventually he talked me into meeting him in the Claremore Walmart parking lot before work. And I was like, I can only talk to you for a second. I'm coming home from school and I'm going straight to work. I don't have long. And, yeah, good to see you, Joey. Yeah. So, I got to the Walmart parking lot and I followed his directions of where he was. And he told me that he had a present for me. And, hey, MM worked at that mall. Oh, cool. Crazy. Yeah, man, Tulsa in the 90s must have been boring. For real. Yeah, it was interesting. Fun fact, I know vlogger Matt from Claremore. We used to work together, so. Anyway, long story short, what was I saying? Okay, he said he had a gift for me. And, he wanted me to get into his car so he could give me his gift. And and so I did. Me, the stupid 16-year-old that I was, or 17, I think it was 16 actually. I got in his car, and he gave me a homemade jewelry box that come to find out he learned how to make log cabin jewelry boxes in prison. Yeah. No, MM wasn't the guy. No, it wasn't him. No, you guys are funny. But anyway, going back to my story, he gave me a jewelry box that he learned how to make in prison. And then, he started up the car. He locked the car doors. And, he said, why don't we go through the Burger King drive-thru, and just get a quick drink real quick. Like a quick, Coca-Cola or something. And, no, actually, I believe I gave the box to... That's a good question, actually. I think I gave the box to the police for evidence, if I remember right. No. Not even that. I think the box actually stayed in his car, because this is where it gets interesting. Yeah. So anyway, we go through the Burger King parking lot, or the Burger King drive-thru, and, I get a Dr. Pepper, he gets Dr. Pepper or whatever. All the frogs expression, right? For real. What are you doing there? Oh, he's just hanging out on the floor. That's weird. Okay, so we go through the drive-thru, and I notice that he starts to sexually assault me. And so I'm like, that's not cool. I don't know what to do. Okay. This is happening. And, I'm thinking that he's driving me back to my car so I can go to work, because I told him I have to go to work. He gets on the highway and I start freaking out. I'm like, where are you taking me? You need to turn back around right now. You need to take me back to my car. I need to go to work. This isn't funny anymore. And he didn't say anything. I'm like, where are you taking me? I start freaking out. I was flipping out. And he was like, oh, we're just gonna go on a road trip. Well, he took me to Arkansas. And, that's the short version of the story. On the way there were times where it was really, really scary. Like, he he stopped at a gas station to get more gas before we went over the state lines. I didn't know where we were going or what. Like, I had no idea what was going on. All I knew was my life was now in danger, and it was because I decided to trust somebody I didn't know. Yeah. So, at some point, we stop at a gas station, and he says, if you tell the people, I want you to go in and pay for the gas, but if you tell them that, anything about me and what's going on, I'll kill you. And he's like, I've killed people before, and I will kill you if you rat me out, basically is what he said. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, Stephanie Harper, you might need to go back a little bit if you missed anything. Yeah. This is something I've never told anybody like in this fashion before, so this is interesting. Yeah. Arkansas, damn, late for work that day for sure. Yeah, for real. Nice to see you again, right? Good. But yeah. So he gave me the money, and he started filling up gas or whatever. I can't remember. Like, at this one, like, back in the day, you could get gas and, like, I don't know. You could do it in a different order than you can now, you know what I mean? And so he watched me like a hawk, and I went inside. I had no idea where I was. And I went in, and I thought about saying something. And I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I was going. All I knew was if I said anything, he would kill me. And he said, I've killed people before. And so I went up there and I paid for the gas, and I could see him. There was like a bird eye view. Like he could see me and I could see him, and he was staring me down the entire time. And so I just gave the guy the money and said, yeah, this amount of money on this tank. And I went back out, and he asked me, did you say anything? And I'm like, no. And he said, get in the car. And so I got in the car, and he got back on the highway, and all the way there, he's telling me about his life and what he's been through and what he's done to people. I mean, immediately, like, he didn't tell me any of this on the phone, of course. He waited until it was time to intimidate me, so I wouldn't escape or whatever, which it worked. He told me about people he's had affairs with, some people he killed. I don't know. He was telling me about, like, some story of him, like, fighting someone in a bar, and he killed him, and that's one of the reasons he went to prison. And I'm like, oh, you went to prison. That's interesting. And so he told me all these things to make sure that I was scared enough to where I wouldn't try to escape. And he got out a flask, and he started drinking hard liquor while he was driving on the highway. And I kept asking him where he's taking me. He wouldn't tell me. I just had to trust him somehow, and I was freaking out. And so he got out a pill, and he's like, take this will make you feel better. And I refused to take it. But he's like, I'll kill you if you don't take this pill. And so I thought about all these ways, maybe how I could try to make it look like I took the pill, but I didn't know how to do that, and I didn't want to anger him, so I took the pill. And that is very stupid too. I just took the pill, and it was like I think it was like a muscle relaxer or something, because it did make me feel more relaxed. And me and him had these conversations. I started feeling all laid back because of it, which is exactly what he wanted. And so I went to freak out and try to, like, escape going 70 miles an hour on the highway. So it became one of these things to where he kind of got me in this mentality of, he was my friend, even though I had no control over the situation. And I was his prisoner, basically. and he took me. This is getting really deep. It gets worse. He actually, after all this, he stopped and drove into the country, like deep into the country. And he said that like he knows these roads better than anybody, and the only people out there are Amish people. And because this was like Amish County or something, I can't remember. I think it was in Mays County. And oh yeah. Because I told him, I have to pee. Can you please stop somewhere so I can go to the restroom? That was kind of like one of my ways of trying to escape him at this point. And I really had to go. He wouldn't let me go to a gas station again. And that's why he took me into the country, like deep into the country. And he made me pee on the side of the road. And he watched me in the entire time. And it was awful. And, yeah, it was awful. I don't know why I sound so calm about it right now. It's just like, it's been years ago. Like, basically half my life ago, pretty much. So, I have this weird disconnect from the story now, which is actually good for right now. I don't want to be crying all over the place while I tell this story. But yeah, he made me pee on the side of the road. I had no way to wash my hands or anything like that. And then when I got into the car, he raped me. And it was terrible, as you might imagine. And then he continued on the path. On the path to wherever we were going, which, as you guys know, because I already spoiled it, Arkansas. And it was, I can't even remember how long it took to get there. I think it was 2 to 4 hours. Yeah. So once we got to this place, he said that he eventually did tell me that he has a place in Arkansas, and he is staying there, but come to find out later that was his grandma's house that he was staying at. And anyway, before we got there, he was telling me about this girl in the neighborhood, this lady in the neighborhood that he would have affairs with behind this woman's husband's back. And they were all friends or whatever, but he said, she's cheating on her husband with me. And in fact, she covers my tracks when I steal stuff or when I do something. She's always there. She has my back. And he told me, like, if I try to escape, like, she'll hurt me if he doesn't. And, like, when we pulled into the area to where he was showing me where he lives or whatever, he pointed at the house that she lived at, but I didn't remember what house it was. But I took note that this person in the community in one of these houses is an enemy of mine, and I need to be very careful. And so yeah, I took note of that. And keep in mind, he's been drinking, and he's been drinking all the way on the trip. So he's not realizing what all he's telling me, all this kind of stuff. But yeah, so we get to his house, or his grandma's house, but his house, and he unlocks the door, and we go in, and there's a parrot, and the parrot is very loud and very boisterous and stuff. And I was like, crap, that's gonna be really hard to keep from setting off the parrot if I want to escape and live, and so he immediately fixes more alcohol beverages and gives me some alcohol and gives himself some alcohol, and he starts talking to me on the couch and stuff. And the whole time I'm on high alert, but of course a little bit more relaxed because he talked me into taking a pill. And we just start talking and everything. And the parrots just squawk into the background and everything. And so eventually he has me go into the bedroom, okay? And he takes ecstasy or Xanax. I think it was Xanax. He was drinking a bunch of alcohol again, and he took Xanax. He didn't make me take anything else because he thought I was all relaxed, and he started trying to assault me again. But he fell asleep because of the Xanax and the alcohol mixed together. And at that point, I kind of nudged him. I waited a while, and I nudged him several times. I'm like, hey, are you awake? Wake up, just to test the waters to see how down he was. And as soon as I knew he was passed out for sure, I grabbed my clothes, and I went to the bathroom, and I put my clothes back on and kind of tried to assess the situation. And I went back in there, and I kind of nudged him again just to make sure he was asleep and passed out enough. And I came to the conclusion that, yeah, he is definitely passed out. So then, keep in mind, this was at night. It was pitch dark outside, and we were in the middle of the country. There was hardly any lights in this community, because this 4 or 5 house community was in the middle of nowhere, and it was just like a little cluster by itself. And so I went into the living room knowing damn well there's a parrot that is going to hear me and is going to freak out. And so I carefully made my way to the door, and it was a miracle that the parrot didn't do anything. Didn't squawk, didn't flutter its feathers. It was asleep too. It was bizarre, and it was a miracle, okay? And then I get to the door, and I realize the door is like a really stupid knob. And so it's something that I never dealt with before, because I think it was like a trailer, kind of more of like a trailer house type thing that was in a neighborhood that had other actual houses. I think that's what it was, because the door was so weird and wonky. And so there I was, thinking anytime right now he could wake up. And so I had stolen his phone, by the way. I stole his phone. I managed to finally open the door, and I went outside, and I sat on the porch, and I tried to call people. But I didn't have a signal. Oh, shut up. One of our tablets is going off. It thinks I'm trying to Google search something right now. Anyway, so I sat there, and I was like, God, I don't know what to do. I can't actually get a hold of anybody like this. I'm gonna actually have to go to one of these houses. And so I looked around, and I was like, what house am I going to go to? And I'm like, I just have to pick one. I don't remember which one is the one that has his woman in it. I'm just going to have to take a chance. And so I walked into the pitch dark to these other houses, and it felt like the longest walk of my life. And I realized at this point I was officially escaping. And this would be very detrimental to me if I didn't get to some place soon. And so I went, and I finally decided on a house to knock on the door of. And I banged on the door. And I banged, and I said, please help me, please help me. I've been kidnapped, please help me. And it took a long time for anyone to open the door. Probably because it was like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning at this point. But eventually the father, the man of the house, opened the door, and I was just like, I've been kidnapped. I've been kidnapped, and I need help. Please help me. Such and such kidnapped me. And he looked stunned, like he didn't believe me. Hey, Stormin, California, how you doing? So he looked stunned, but he eventually let me in. And I just said, can I use your phone? Can I please use your phone? I've been kidnapped. And so I was too scared and too embarrassed to actually call my mom, amazingly enough. And so I started calling my friends, because for some reason, just the thought of hearing my mom's pain and fear and worriedness towards me and what was going on was like too much for me to bear. And so I didn't want to tell her yet. And so I was so good to see that Stormin Norman. But anyway, so I called my friends and I left messages to most of them, and finally I think my friend Cassidy was the one that actually picked up, I think Cassidy or Trina, one of them. But anyway, I called them and I told them, like, look, I'm in this situation. I have no idea where I'm at. Can you please call Mom and my stepdad and tell them what's going on? And so she did. And then my mom called, and it was this big thing, of course. And then the police came out. And in the middle of all of this stuff, the guy that kidnapped me woke up. And he went looking for me. And he didn't know what house I was in, or if I was in a house or what. But he got in his car, and I think the police had already done their police report with me, and so it was no longer at that house. So it wasn't like something to draw from where he was suspicious of that house or anything. But yeah, he went looking all over the place for me, and then the police tried to track him down, but they lost him and stuff. But yeah, I eventually got home. My mom and my stepdad at the time, they had to drive several hours to come get me in the middle of the night. And then they took me to the hospital where I had to get like the rape kit and all this stuff. And then like they gave me all these medications that made me nauseous. And so it was really terrible because, of course, at this point, everyone's hungry. It's in the morning. And so on the way home, they took me to a cafe so I could get some food. But the medication made me so nauseous that I couldn't do it. I couldn't eat at all. But anyway, so we went home and everything, and then I spent the next 2 years as a teenager having to go to court all the time for him. And after I went through that, he actually did that to other people. And so there were like 2 or 3 people that were accusing him of kidnapping and all these other things. And so we all had to go to court, and it was a big deal. And it was really frustrating. It was really scary. And I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, to tell you the truth. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot about life and people and trusting people after that. And I was always looking over my shoulder when I would go to work and stuff after that, since he was still, they hadn't arrested him for quite a while. It was 2 or 3 weeks before they caught him. And so there was times to where, like, every night going to my car, I'd be looking in the car back seat to make sure he wasn't hiding in there, since he knew what my car was and everything at this point. It was miserable. And still to this day, I wonder, like, when he gets out, is he going to hunt me down? I don't know. My name has changed a little bit, which is helpful, but, like, at the rate that I put myself out there on the internet, like, it's only a matter of time to where he could find me, you know what I mean? So there's always that in the back of my mind. Yeah, I've learned that I can't just trust anyone that's nice to me. I've learned that if someone is calling me on the phone and being super nice to me for no reason, I need to be very careful, because they're probably a predator. Maybe not, but probably. Thank you, Callie. Thank you. That's scary. So you had to go through that. Thank you, Vlogger Matt. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. It was really really scary, but I learned that there is a different kind of human out there in the world than what I thought. I thought everyone was nice at their core. I thought that there is no such thing as a bad person. But I was wrong. There are bad people out there, and there are people that are out to get you. And you have to be on alert for that, because you don't want to be a victim, you know, because it can happen to anybody. Because here I was thinking it would never happen to me. But, like, I was such a trusting person, and I still tend to be a very trusting person. And it has been a part of me that struggles a lot, because I want to believe in the best in people, but I also need to remember my past and remember that I can be too trusting. And yeah, that is my story. That is something I've learned from, and I'm kind of wondering if you guys have ever been through anything like that before, and if so, what was it like for you? I'm sure it was very scary. And what did you learn from it? Because I learned so much. Yeah, that's a hell of an experience. Yeah, it was pretty awful. But I had to grow up a lot. I had to realize, whoa, I really can't just be telling everybody my business, and I really can't, you know, just think that everyone has my best interest in mind, because it's not true. It's simply not true. Hey, little buddy. Eddie heard my story. He hadn't heard it either, so he's trying to comfort me now. Little buddy, come here. Yeah, so we got my comfort cat here. He's still not growing hair back from when he had his ultrasound. But yeah, he's been a good kitty, though, lately. Charlie is actually in this thing again, so that's pretty cute. Charlie, he went to the doctor yesterday, and yeah, I think I told you guys this already, but yeah, I often remind her not to be trusting of people. Yeah, you do, Tommy. Yeah, it's okay, Suddenly Frogs. It's okay. Oh, ultrasound for his stomach. Here. There you go, buddies. There you go. He's like, no, I didn't want to do that. He has some issues. Hey, Live Dreams, how you doing? He has some digestive issues. I thought, oh yeah, he's preggers, yes. But we took him in a few weeks ago to get checked out, because it seemed like he was having trouble going to the bathroom, and like he always has to go to the bathroom, and like he's been making messes on the floor instead of going in the litter box and that kind of thing, and like it was very problematic, because he's kind of been like that for like since we got him, but he got worse. And so we took him in thinking that maybe they could figure out what was going on, and they shaved his belly and did the ultrasound, and then they're like, no, we don't see any cancer or anything, so we're not sure. And then they're like, it's not, you know, it's not kidney disease. It's almost kidney disease, but it's not quite there yet. Like, he's about to get it, but he doesn't have it yet. So that's all they've told me so far. And so it's really frustrating, because he still seems kind of miserable, but I don't know what to do about it. I have to just keep watching him. And then in the meantime, Charlie, he is on pain medicine for three days or so, because he had an x-ray. It says that the vet says that he didn't break or fracture his leg or his hip, but he's limping around, and so I'm supposed to watch him for 2 or 3 days, and if he still is limping, then I need to take him back, and then they'll charge me more money to figure out what's going on. So yeah, it's kind of a mess. Yeah. 70 Carper says, oh, Carissa, I'm so sorry that you went through this. Sending you virtual hugs. Aw, thank you, 70 Carper. Appreciate you. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a long time since it happened, so you know, I was emotional about it before, but really now it's just kind of like a weird thing that happened to me in the past that I don't really, it doesn't really traumatize me anymore, but like maybe it's more just like in the back of my head. I don't know, in my subconscious now, not really something I think about actively. Um, let's see. But thank you, Adora. Hey, Adora, how are you doing? Good evening, Carissa and Tommy. Good evening to you, Adora. Have you had him checked for diabetes? Um, Good question. Um, they are actually starting to suspect that both of the cats may have diabetes because they've both have lost a little bit of weight. Um, Charlie's lost 2 pounds apparently. Um, and Eddie, who used to be a morbidly obese cat when we first got him, he has lost 7 pounds, and so now he's actually smaller than Charlie, and that's just weird. But we feed them really good food and we give them plenty of water, so I don't really know why they're losing weight, other than they're both just old. So yeah, it's crazy. Oh my gosh, they're trading. They traded they traded spots there, I guess. Let's see here. I'm doing good, Live Dreams. How are you doing? Um, have you had him check? Okay, I already read that one. Um, oh yeah, sorry, Live Dreams. I haven't had a lot of time lately, but like I'll go look at your Instagram. Sorry, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm not trying to ignore you or anything. Hey Johnson, family vids and vlogs. How's it going? How you doing tonight? Let's see here. I'm good. Dark Zombie Demon said, "Hey guys, hey, Dark Zombie Demon, good to see you." Suddenly Frog says, "I had to pretend to be a teenage colleague's dad on a night out once. Little creep got over eager with her. Oh God, I look a bit like Brian Blessed and Flash Gordon without the wings. So happy ending. Oh my gosh, sounds like you took care of business. Suddenly Frogs. Oh my gosh, wow." Sometimes you have to be like that, you know? Um, yeah, like, I mean, seriously, like, when you see a friend or something dealing with that situation, you gotta step in, like, because you may be the only one, and you don't want something to go wrong. Um, you did the right thing, Suddenly Frogs. Stormin CA says, yeah, weight loss and peeing a lot are two signs of diabetes. Interesting. We do give them a lot of treats. We don't give them like people food, but we give them like a lot of treats, especially on Sundays when we do these live streams and stuff. Because they're just like a part of the show now, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't really a show, but like they're like always in the background, and it's something that we all kind of just expect to be there, are these cats. And so I always like to load them up with treats so Tommy can feed them every time. But yeah, it's crazy. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. See if there's something else I can do for the possible diabetes or whatever. I give him Victor food, which is like really good food, and it's really the only food that Eddie can eat. Like, we switched him to Purina just because that's what Charlie ate. Like, when we first got him, it was terrible decision. I won't go into details, but his digestive system didn't take it very well. We had an orange tabby that we gave shots for diabetes for 7 years. Aww. How sad. It's so sweet of you to take care of him, though. Even though it involves shots and everything. But, like, those are your little buddies. Those are your little friends. So, like, if you love them, take care of them, right? So, yeah. Okay. Well, unfortunately, it is getting late. And yeah, I bet he was your baby. I'm sorry. Yeah, Charlie and Eddie are definitely our babies too. Charlie especially, because Charlie, I mean, no offense to Eddie, we adopted him, and so I feel like he hates me half the time. But Charlie, the orange tabby cat, I raised him from when he was a baby. He was like probably 6 weeks old or something, and so he acts like he's my baby all the time. Always begs for attention, just like So loving and sweet. Eddie doesn't act that way. Edwin is his formal name, Edwin. But Eddie, I call him for short. But he has what we call resting bitch face all the time. So, but that might be because he's chronically ill and we just haven't found the reason yet. I don't know. But he also just has the cutest little resting bitch face. So, yeah, anyway. Let's see. Well, I shared my story, and I hope that maybe you've learned something from it, or at least something from me. I don't know. Like, I don't know if this has taught you anything, or at least informed you a little bit of why I am how I am, or whatever. I mean, I don't know if it even really changes anything, honestly, but I just thought I could share the story and everything and see what you guys thought of it. Yeah, it's crazy. Edwin likes me better, Tommy says. That's funny. I have a long-haired ginger Norwegian forest kitty. Oh, wow, cool. How pretty. Sounds really like such a pretty cat, Suddenly Frogs. Yes, a cat among the frogs. Yeah, that's funny. Oh my gosh. Callie said, day 5 cray. Right? Seriously. Good day 5 mission video. Well, thank you, Stormin. I appreciate that. I'm going to have to go check out some of your videos again. I meant to check out more. I got a little busy today, but I'm going to actually be trying to catch up on other people's 5-day and 5-6 mission stuff, like in the Facebook group we're in. So I'll be looking at yours because I'm subscribed to your channel now, Stormin. So I'll be checking that out soon and see what you are sharing. She's extremely pretty. Yes. Aw, how cute. I would love to see a picture of your kitty cat. If you could share it on Twitter or something. Yeah, absolutely, Stormin. I subscribed to you a few days ago, and I'm trying to make sure that I watch all your videos. All your mission videos. I've only watched one, but I need to catch up on them so I can do that. So, yeah, absolutely. I'll actually try to catch one live soon too. That'd be easier. 2 birds, 1 stone, because we could actually talk about whatever you're talking about, right? So yeah. Anyway, I guess I better get off of here. I do have to work in the morning, so yeah, it's bedtime for me. But I really appreciate you guys stopping by to listen to the story and everything, and letting me spill the beans or spill the tea, so to speak. That was tough. That was really tough. But I will be on here tomorrow. Once, maybe twice. I'm not sure yet. So I'll be sharing more stuff. My next mission, I don't know if I'll share it here. My next mission, today's mission, was supposed to be things I hate about myself. So maybe I will just, I don't know. Maybe I'll do that one tomorrow. I'll continue to be 1 day behind. Maybe I'll do a combo move on something. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. I really, really appreciate you guys being here. And I will see you tomorrow if you happen to catch the stream then. So, love you guys. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, if you want to. If you found this story time interesting, feel free to give it a thumbs up on this video. It really helps YouTube see that maybe more people want to see this video or whatever. And you guys take care. And remember, thank you, Adora. Good night to you as well. Thank you, Stormin. We are all potato chips in this bag called life, and we are stronger together. You guys take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Awkward moment time. Oh my gosh, where's the outro? Is it gonna work? Yep. Okay. Bye, Suddenly Frogs. Bye, Adora. Bye, Stormin. Bye, Callie. Bye, Stephanie, Carper, and whoever else is here. Bye.